are all created equal from reliability and availability and especially a baseload standpoint. So we have a lot of knowledge sharing to provide, and we've been doing that. In fact, one of the things we did in February, and I want to expand through this, we met with the National Governors Association because 31 of our U.S. states get energy from nuclear energy, 7 of which get the vast majority, greater than 50% from nuclear. And we met with a number of the governors to get them engaged in supporting this, and we'll be seeing them again in July in Nashville. And what I want to try to do is trying to push it so Virginia becomes the leader of that, which I'm going to need some help with you, Randy and Dave, to get our governor to be the lead governor in that activity. So just tell him to stand by because here it comes, right? But there's so much to be said and to recognize the value of nuclear science technology, and that's part of what we're trying to do is to make sure our public value it appropriately. And just as Dave said, unfortunately, so many of our people put a value on nuclear energy as a spot price, what it is right now, not what it really matters in any overall scheme of things, and that's just inappropriate.
We're levelized over, say, 80 years.
Does anybody want to add anything more? We can take this and send this back out to everyone, this listing, if you will, of the 9 or 10 activities that we have listed, if you will.
What do you have after licensing, before the university approach?
Just the licensing process, that we're going to bring up the importance of having a little more of a stable, predictable licensing process that facilitates us going forward for both large build and small modular reactors. I heard nothing about SMRs, noting that Virginia is a unique state for that, and we met last week with Admiral Richardson, who's the director of the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program, and also several folks from the Department of Energy and Navy and Army about SMR applications for vital and military installations, especially in Virginia. Now, so that dialogue is getting leveraged and started and pushed, and we're going to continue it. I'm already doing this from ANS, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about Virginia Nuclear Energy Consortium Authority. I did mention its existence and what it's doing, how it's forming a consortium board, and what it's going to be doing to push forward the unique aspects of Virginia as a state to support this kind of nuclear science technology expansion.
So you're saying SMR in Virginia? That's good. I have no issues. I'm just...
Wouldn't be the first time it's been considered.
When it's appropriate, where it's appropriate,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay.
I think just down the hall here at
We
VCU.
have, and Newport News, we have kind of a lot of capability of doing small, more reactors. Yeah.
Could be for isotope production.
There's a number of applications that's being looked at, including energy security, so I wasn't going to go any further than that, but I didn't mean to interrupt this conversation, but I think what it says is that this is a very prime time for this entity to be put into formation, for it to engage with all the issues that are so significant and become the thought leader, as David said, from what we're doing here.
Just one last thing before we move on. I was looking back on what the other folks had mentioned. Workforce development, it's not something that was on our list of the 10 or 11 things. It seems like that would be an important intersection. Yeah, that should be.
Yes,
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll make sure we put it on the list. But yeah,
that's necessary.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So,
if you don't have it then.
yeah, then none of the rest will work. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and I think that the point is taken, right? So we are just suggesting these things, and the consortium will take them and do whatever they need to do. However, as we just said, it's impossible to pursue all these things at the same time.
Yeah.
So depending on the prioritization that we assign to these things, it will change the composition of the consortium, because some people may be interested in something that is going to be the #1 priority, and they may be, okay, yes, right now. But there may be some other potential consortium members, like, yeah, okay, I would like to do this. So when you get to item number 10, call me and I'll join. I have no interest in items 1 to 9. I mean, I'm just exaggerating, but you know.
No. That's actually an important point, because I mean the goal of what we're doing here is so that each of our different, so that each person can take back to their group this value proposition of 3 or 4 sentences or 4 or 5 items of things we're doing, and I'll invest $20,000. So the president or David or whoever else will say, I'll put $25,000 into that for this year. So Do you feel like we need to be a little bit more drilled down to the 9, 10, or 11 things, or?
No, I mean, I don't, I think it's fine to just list them without any sort of priority, because again, it's
We
really
don't
not,
like-
it's not maybe our job to do that, but I just want to clarify that depending on, I mean, and this is a matter of perception. I mean,
Yeah.
so we can put together this list, and then, you know, I can bring this to our president. I can say, oh, well, it sounds like the items that I'm interested in are not going to be done this year, so I'll join next year. I mean, I don't know. That's a possibility.
That means we didn't do a good enough job
Yeah, exactly.
creating the list if there's nothing on there that somebody sees as important.
Face-to-face meeting.
You know, none of these issues can be addressed in isolation or in a
Yeah.
vacuum. They all have connectivity. And if you attempt to address just one of these without the rest of them, I think you
Right.
fail. And I think what Sam is saying is that we have to acknowledge and recognize they don't necessarily have a priority scheme as much as they have an overall integration aspect. So we basically make the value proposition is that we're talking about the enhancement and improvement of nuclear science technology, the public's understanding, and all of the activities associated with that. And there are some unique specifics of that will be done. But overall, anybody working on NS&T should see value in being a consortium board. That should be the way we should be selling it, pushing it, whatever word I should be selecting.
Advertising.
Thank you. So I'm glad that you added workforce development. I had it down as one of the underlings, but I think that's great to call it out by itself. Do you guys feel comfortable that we've established at least a sense of what that value proposition would look like then? Excellent.
Jared, do you feel like we're?
I'm all ears.
Okay. No one has
Okay,
ever
so
accused
let
you
me
of just
just
being
ask
all
you,
ears.
So we are going, you guys are going to polish all these things and send it back to make sure that we are all on the same page?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus. Nice.
I got it, don't worry.
Yes, sure. We will. Words are not what I want you to have.
Shall we move? I don't know what your all schedules look like. There's the founding member targets. There's a list inside your package, inside the green thing. If I could ask you guys to pull this out. The only thing I'd like to change is that I appreciate you putting Excel under non-profit, although we're beginning to think like that. We are a Virginia company, so move us up on our new.
Very good.
But I was like, I saw that and I thought maybe it was Dave that told you to do that.
That's happening.
So you can do things for us, huh?
Yeah. And this list was generated from two sources. One of the previous meetings where we kind of brainstormed Virginia companies, higher ed that would have some interest, and then Jerry had gone through and done some research about other companies that may not be on the board that here in Virginia that are in this space. Bartlett Nuclear, Floor, moving down from there, were some people that Jerry had identified through the Virginia Employment Commission as having assets in the state. So that's kind of where this list comes from.
Maybe may I suggest that you add ISO him to the non-profits potentially?
Yeah, when we first created this list, it came out of a group talk a couple of meetings ago. But I agree, adding things like Thorium Power or Lightbridge, it's called now, and the Atlantic Group.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole subset of bless you. Anybody working nuclear science technology as a consulting firm or manufacturing or supply services firm in the state of Virginia should be considered as an option. And I started writing down on the list started getting a bit overwhelming. So I really was going to wait and see what you guys thought. But I think when we stop and we think about what we said, 12 to 15
Yeah.
founding member targets, I thought adding a bunch of smaller companies probably wasn't going to be the right target for the kind of financial request we were making on a yearly basis. But go ahead.
No, ISO him is not a company, it's a non-profit. Potentially it could be a funding.
Say again, I'm sorry.
ISO him is a non-profit.
Okay. Who did you see as a nonprofit?
ISO him.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So there is also Mitsubishi Nuclear Energy
Well,
System.
they've got
Yeah,
an
yeah,
MHI.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually a member of the authority,
I know.
but they have switched in the membership, and Frank Gillespie's not been engaged at this point.
Well, we agreed that an organization who had a representative on the authority could also be a part of the consortium board, but the same entity, the same individual could not represent both.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Agreed, yes, because I think we'd have a very difficult time getting 12.
We'd have a heck of a time, yeah, of getting 12 to 15 if we excluded all the parties sitting at the table.
Yeah.
We can try.
Well, no, I think we can do that.
Yeah.
That's not the approach.
And it doesn't make any sense.
No, no,
in
I
the days,
know.
mean,
So, given that, we list a lot of our same entities that we're representing here through the authority aspect, so the consortium board can be made up of the same organizations, just the different individuals representing same.
I do think there are a couple of ones I would suggest adding. Rolls-Royce, for example, is their North American headquarters is in the U.S., is in Virginia.
right.
But they have, they do a fair amount in manufacturing of large nuclear components, also in the instrumentation and control systems area. Especially in Europe, they're big in that area. The other one I think we should add, given our discussion about medical imaging, is Siemens. Siemens has chosen Virginia as a focus state for a lot of activities that they're engaged in, and I think would have a lot of interest in being in the discussion as well.
In control also.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
in the controls area.
Is it too late for us to get part of that $1 billion?
Well, they are very anxious to engage more with the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
I think there's a good opportunity there.
Let's go see them. You don't get what you don't ask for, Randall.
Absolutely.
Where are they located?
They actually, they don't really have, well, they have design and application centers in Virginia. They have a design and application center that's located in Newport News, 75 to 100 designers that work with their customers on design. But they have, they're obviously located all over. The closest manufacturing facility is not nuclear, but the closest manufacturing facility is in North Carolina.
Atlanta, they have outside Atlanta, I know Shoshone, they have this location.
The Rolls-Royce manufacturing, it's in Virginia, Prince George.
It's aerospace. That's all aerospace. They
They
actually,
do nuclear work.
they do. They have, in fact, they are part of a center in the UK that's a nuclear manufacturing research center.
This was supposed to be their
Reba and
jumping
several
off
others
point
are
here in
part of
Virginia
it.
to expand their digital applications for instrumentation and control and also for obsolescence programs for instrumentation. That's what they had intended when they started a few years ago. I'm not exactly sure I know where it is now.
Well, I know they're making spindles for the engines on 787s.
So we have this list of founding member targets, which currently has, as you can see, in the Virginia companies, also the other organizations in higher education, research, nonprofit, and then we also have Jefferson Labs, NASA, and the American Nuke Society. We're adding Rolls-Royce and Siemens to that list. Does anybody have any other ones they think we should add?
Actually, there is one other one that I would add, and we have a great relationship with them, is Sandvik. It's a Swedish company, but they make control rods and other types of things for nuclear
And they have a
applications.
Virginia office?
They do not, their closest office, they do have a presence in Virginia, but their North American headquarters is in New Jersey. But they are a member of CCAM, and we have a very close relationship with them, and they would like to have more activities and more engagement in Virginia.
It used to be in Danville with a manufacturing operation, yet that's been shut for 15 or 20 years.
I'm just going to throw this out and you guys decide. I'm not sure I would have a problem with that, but I think you have to be careful. Right or wrong, we had sort of a limitation that talked about Virginia companies, Virginia organizations, and if you start bringing organizations that have no office in Virginia, then where does that stop? And I'm not suggesting that you don't want to raise as much funds and support as you can, but I would imagine that the entities that do business in the state of Virginia would rather be the ones that were leading the activity and be on the founding board than those that were leading activities in other states. That's just my first impression. How do you guys react to that?
I tend to agree.